Hey everybody, I haven't done this for a while. It's a vlog update. So what's been going on? I just got back from the store. Last night I bought my digital copy of Resident Evil 7 and already started doing Let's Plays of it. I've got like 4 parts recorded and edited. I just want to wait for my cover art from my buddy Quick Kick, who said he might be able to get that done by this weekend, so those won't be posted until then. And I lost a bunch of footage for my playthrough of Resident Evil 4 because the hard drive failed, and so had to restart the whole game again just to get back to where I was. Bought a new thumb drive for my laptop, so got that back on track, got that going. I got one part kind of edited, but some things are going awry. But right now, though, I'm going to show off a couple of new little things that I bought as part of my silly little game collection. Some of these I already own, 2 of them. The others I don't. Well, kind of, in some way. First up, I saw this, and I had to get it. Starfox 64 box, and yeah, it's got the game, it's got the manual, and it has the Rumble Pack in there too, which I find very silly. I believe I remember, this being, aside from Mario 64, because for quite a while we didn't get an N64, because we couldn't really afford it at the time. But I remember this being one that was another game that I rented quite a bit when I rented a Nintendo 64. And one of my biggest memories about it, aside from, like, wow, like, how, like, there were some stages where you could, freely, just move about with your ship, which was great and something that we always wanted from a Star Fox game, was that I remember after playing the game for maybe an hour or so, with that, Nintendo 64 controller, that afterward my hands just cramped and hurt so bad from it, and I blame that on the weird design of the controller. So that is added to the collection. And I apologize, I just ate, so. And here's one that I will certainly do a video on. I'm going to try and, at some point, bring back my Adamantium Rage series. Batman Begins, which is really more of a movie tie-in, but it's still, a comic book. I remember I played this game after it first came out, and I liked it. It's probably the first movie tie-in game that I think was actually good. It does do a few things differently. More heavily involves stealth and actually trying to scare your opponents in order to disarm them and dissuade them so that when you go in and attack them, you completely dominate. But isn't that really what Batman already kind of does? So I thought it was pretty true to the character. Anyway, we'll talk more about that when I actually, play the game or do a video on it. And of course, a very cheap copy of Red Steel. I've actually never played these games. I know I own the sequel. I know it's somewhere in this mess of a room of mine. And mostly I bought these because, I remember them in the commercials showing off so much about, the motion controls and how they were supposed to be accurate. And well, after so many of my playthroughs of Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, I found that the motion controls, particularly for the aiming, have actually been pretty damn good. So I just want to see how fair, these games are. And lastly, my physical copies of Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4. I own digital copies of these. I bought this on, I got this one from the Wii U network, and of course I bought this one the very night that it came out, an hour before it was, officially supposed to be out, and I didn't pre-order it or anything like that, which is funny because I got a pre-order code from PlayStation saying that, hey, thanks for pre-ordering this. I didn't, but okay. And I kind of wanted to talk very briefly about that. I'm not overly fond of digital, as I've said before, because the thing about digital is that you don't really own it. You're technically only renting it from the company, and eventually they can choose to turn it off, but they will eventually just resell it to you about a year later on a different console or on a different system, and I think that's kind of bullshit. which is why I'm all for physical media, because at least then, when you buy it, it's yours, and you can play it whenever the hell you want. This is the sort of thing that also kind of makes me upset whenever the whole thing about physical and digital comes up, how there's always, one person or somebody who's like, oh, physical media is utterly pointless. Like, no, it's not. It's preservation. It means that you own it. It's yours. It's still available is what it means. Yeah, sure, it might degrade over time if you keep it in poor condition, but at least when you own it, it's yours, as opposed to digital. Also, I mean, seeing as how, any one of your systems, it's not really large enough to be able to contain that entire library of digital shit that you have, because it's just so goddamn big. Also, I really don't like the idea that with current console gaming, every single game that you buy, physical or digital, it always has to install. So either way, you're taking stock upon your storage device. So, well, anyway, I'm gonna save you from some rants. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time for whatever Let's Play or review it is that I'm gonna be doing. Thinking about trying to do some kind of a review for Resident Evil 7. Of course, I'm only like 4 parts in, so I do plan on playing more. Anyway, see ya.